question paper. So, what are enzymes, proenzymes, diagnostic importance, classification, and how these enzymes are acting. We'll go with this chapter enzymes. Please open enzymes chapter in your respective textbook. 185 page in mine. Okay, first of all, what are enzymes? You have to give the definition. Enzymes are nothing but biological catalysts, isn't it? Which help in speeding up of any metabolic reaction. Okay, so that is basically an enzyme. Now what is the difference between enzyme and proenzyme? Proenzymes are also called as zymogens. This we discussed previously also. What are proenzymes, Imad? Inactive form of
They're the inactive forms of the active inactive forms of the enzyme.
are nothing but enzymes. Like trypsinogen is inactive form of trypsin. Pepsinogen is inactive form of pepsin, isn't it? So like that you have proenzymes. So whenever, like suppose trypsinogen, it is actually released in the stomach in the form of inactive. Like once HCl acts over it, it gets converted into trypsin. That means whenever food is available and whenever they are supposed to act, they get activated. So that is proenzyme. Enzymes are active form. Now see here, the nomenclature and classification has been asked. So we have many classifications, among which IUB, International Union of Biochemistry, International Union of Biochemistry. So this union has given one classification which has 6 major classes. Okay, and this is generally considered as the standard classification. Just remember one code beta Othlil, OTHLIL. Here it is given. See on the screen, Othlil. First letter in each class. Okay, and try to learn this table. And you can give examples which are just examples without any substrate here. Just ABCD have been represented, and you can give many examples from various metabolisms from carbohydrate, protein, fat metabolism chapters. Now let us see what each word is standing for. O is oxidoreductases. So oxidoreductases, that means these are the enzymes which bring about the oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Reduction is removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen molecule. So that's what is taking place here. Oxidation AH2 plus B. Now here the hydrogen is removed. Okay, and here it is getting. So this is oxidation reduction reaction which is shown here. So examples, we have cytochrome oxidase, L&D amino acid oxidases. So this we have seen in electron transport chain, cytochrome oxidases action, isn't it? So that example you can give here, other than AB type of example. Then transferases. So transferases are the enzymes which transfer one group like hexokinase. So like basically, if you remember, glucose and fructose both are sugars which are having the same formula like C6H12O6. One is keto sugar and the other is aldose sugar, isn't it? That is the only difference. So suppose if there is change in some functional group like transferases, the group is being transferred. That means aldose group becomes ketose group becomes aldose. That means glucose can be converted to fructose and fructose can be converted to glucose. So for such reactions, we have enzymes like hexokinases. Okay, this also you will come across during glycolysis cycle. So in glycolysis, we have this like hexokinase is the direct word which is used there. Okay. Then, so here, then hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means water is being added to bring about the breakdown of the substrate. Generally, this hydrolysis type of reactions you study under xenobiotics chapter and many more chapters in fact, but there you will study it separately because hydrolysis is one of the modes of detoxification of various metabolic end products of the body. Okay, here you can use example lipase, okay, cholinesterase, acid alkaline phosphatase, and so on. Then we have lyase. See, lyase is an enzyme which is like you have aldolase addition and addition of one substrate and elimination. So lyase is here. Enzymes specialized in addition or removal of water, okay, ammonia, carbon dioxide, etc. So they come under lyases. Okay, then we have isomerases. So isomerases, they bring about isomerization, like here triose phosphate isomerase. This is one enzyme which helps in the interconversion of isomers. Okay, so isomerases also I will not just discuss. So like that we have ligase. Ligase is the enzyme which binds. So this you will see during replication. We didn't study it. So in the replication complete cycle, you will come across this enzyme like ligase. Enzymes catalyzing synthetic reaction. Ligate is to bind. So where two molecules are joined together. So like that you have, this is the classification which you should write. So after knowing the classification in this part of question, this we have already discussed if you remember in our previous classes. What are the factors affecting enzyme action is also a part of essay. Then after this, see we have clinical enzymology, which is not included here. See what are the enzymes which are increased in various diseases. With the help of enzyme levels also we can. Actually this is a short table and I want you to learn this one. No, there are certain, like in the recent class we have studied about liver function test. Isn't it, Iman? Can you tell me what enzymes are raised
Yes, ma'am.
in liver disorders? SGOT,
Uh,
SGPT.
alkaline, sorry,
Yeah, very
SGOT,
good.
SGP,
Yeah, you are
alkaline
also right.
phosphatase,
Alanine
lactate dehydrogenase.
transaminase, aspartate transaminase are the new names of SGOT, SGPT. Okay, so that is serum glutamate transaminase, alanine transaminase, also called as SGPT. So all this. That means if there is any liver disorder like jaundice and all, you will you will just prescribe for these enzymes to be checked. Okay, suppose if this enzyme level, suppose ALT level is raised more than 3 to 40 international units per liter, then we will generally guess like there may be some underlying derangement with liver function. Like that, we have this whole table will give you an idea. Suppose, like in case of acute pancreatitis, mumps, and also in obstruction in pancreatic duct and diabetic ketoacidosis, we will check with the enzymes amylase and lipase. These levels will be listed. Of course, see, many disorders are there in which only these parameters are increased. That means we have to further confirm. So further confirmation can be done with the other advanced techniques what we have. Okay, madam? So like that, so I want you to learn this table thoroughly because this now it has come as a part of essay question, but it can itself come as 5 marks or 3 marks question also. Okay, so this table is good, but a short form of this table is also given like this better. Like for example, amylase is increased in acute pancreatitis, SGOT, SGPT, SGPT especially in liver disorders, SGOT in heart attacks, okay, alkaline phosphatase in rickets and so on. Then, so we also have, we'll just check question once again. What else has been asked? Enzymes and proenzymes. Diagnostic importance of proenzymes and classify enzymes giving examples. Okay. Then reactions catalyzed by each. Okay. So this we have done. Okay. So
Yes,
here,
ma'am.
this we have done. But diagnostic enzymes of importance of proenzymes is being asked. But proenzymes we
Yes,
usually,
ma'am. From gastrointestinal proenzymes that are there, carboxypeptidase, trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, they
yeah.
prevent damage to the gastrointestinal cells when they're stored as proenzymes.
हाँ बोलो बेटा. a month. Okay, but also, in anyhow, though he has used the word proenzymes, but it's better you go with the table what I have shown for clinical enzymology. Okay, beta?
Okay, ma'am.
Just now, whatever table we have discussed, that is more important. So, isoenzymes again will be a separate question, beta. So, then when it comes, I will discuss. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, then we'll go with the next question. So, glycogenesis, glycogenolysis, reactions. Reciprocally regulated and glycogen. This we have actually discussed. Okay, but we will have a quick review. Okay. When will you write this week's exam beta because we missed on Sunday?
Ma'am,
Both of you please tell me.
I can write this Thursday.
Okay. Ritika, what about you beta? Please remind me, Mark, please. Huh?
Okay.
Ritika, will you write on Thursday? You too?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, nice. Very good, both of you. Okay, now the question is carbohydrate metabolism, 244 page. Yes, beta. So what is glycogenesis?
Production of glycogen from glucose substrates.
What is glycogenolysis? This cycle.
Breakdown
The
of
reverse breakdown of glycogen to glucose. See the first cycle, what is these are two lengthy cycles, but I told you it can come as an essay question. Glycogenesis. So glycogenesis is you are seeing glucose molecules. So many glucose molecules will all bind together and it will lead to a formation of long lengthy chain of glycogen through series of steps. First step is see hexokinase is one of the question, one of the enzyme which was used no, when we were doing just now the kinases. So you can give this example: glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, for transferases you can use this example, but a glucokinase. Like that, you have to apply where like water is being added. You have to write give an example as hydrolysis. So of course now for this Genesis, I want you to memorize this cycle for glycogenolysis. See the long lengthy chain of glycogen. See, with this black hexagons are actually indicating glucose molecules. Even blue and red ones are also glucose molecules. So in the straight chain, whatever linkages you are finding, these are alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Okay. Now, wherever we have branching, there you will see alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkage. So, for the formation of this alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, you have this glycogen initiator synthase. For branching, you have this elongation by glycogen synthase forming alpha 1,4 and this 1,6 bonds, glucosyl 4,6 transferase. Similarly, for breaking also, see in case of glycogenolysis, this glycogen has to be broken down. So wherever branching is seen, like alpha 1,6 bonds, there it is being broken down. Glycogen phosphorylase, we have debranching enzyme transferase activity, okay, limit dextrin, series of steps you will see, and finally, every glucose molecule will be made free, liberated. So suppose this last step will be missing, no? You have glycogen storage diseases. Like what are the examples we have, better? Von Girk's disease, Pompey's disease, McArdle's disease, so many. So like example like glucose 6-phosphatase, suppose this is missing.
Von
So
Gilchrist disease.
Von Girk's disease, you will see glucose will not be formed and the glucose 6-phosphate will be accumulated in the liver. So that is this beta. Now let us see. So this is glycogen storage diseases. You have to check which particular enzyme is not working. In case of von Girk's disease, you are finding glucose 6-phosphatase is defective. So you will see the glucose 6-phosphate is getting accumulated in the liver, kidney, intestine, and it will damage these respective cells, leading to fatty liver, okay, different types of deformities, renal damage, lactic acidemia, hyperlipidemia, ketosis, gouty arthritis. So around 7 examples are given. To write 7, it will be little difficult, but if you can manage, it's fine. Write names and try to elaborate at least 4 to 5. Okay, beta? So that is no, one more part is also there in the question, glycogenesis, lysis, and apart from the storage diseases, reciprocally regulated. Okay, for this there is a flow chart. How this glycogenesis and glycogenolysis are reciprocally. Yeah, this one. So this reciprocally, that means what are the enzymes which are promoting the glycogen synthesis and what are the enzymes which are bringing about the glycogen breakdown. So you are finding this is glycogen is now broken down to glucose 1,6-phosphate. That means this is glycogenolysis. Again, so glucose 1-phosphate gradually by adding up of glucose, you will see it will be converted into glycogen. So that means here you have this lower one is glycogenesis and the upper one is glycogenolysis. So how are they correlated? Suppose if glucose 6 phosphate, it will give negative feedback. That means this will stop. ATP, if already it is so much, it will stop. These negative things are, they are all inhibiting. Whereas increased calcium levels and AMP, this will promote the synthesis of this glycogen will be now broken down into the glucose 1 phosphate. That means glycogenolysis. Similarly, glucose 6 phosphate is the activator for the conversion of glucose 1 phosphate to glycogen. So this is a cycle which actually helps in understanding like what is the correlation between these two. Okay, that is the glycogenesis and glycogenolysis pathways, how they are reciprocally regulated. It all depends upon the positive and negative factors. Okay, then this is actually an essay question, but a de novo synthesis of fatty acids. And of course, most of the times it won't be asked. Fatty acid synthase complex, I gave you one code. Do you remember, beta? Fatty acid synthase complex. 285. Very lengthy cycle. This is the only cycle which is too complicated also, I said. In the sense, not so much if you can practice, but it is little lengthy. Cumbersome cycle this is. Fatty acid synthesis. Yes, this one better. So now de novo synthesis of fatty acid synthesis, like it's being asked now. Now see what are the steps now? See like acetyl CoA is the first precursor what we want. From here now it is now converted to so like like what is this acetyl SACP, then to acyl malonyl enzyme. So many complicated, like the most important thing we have here is fatty acid synthase complex beta. CAM dekha T, I gave you the code. KAM CAM DEKA dekha and T. Fatty acid synthase complex is multi-enzyme complex which will be running in two directions. 3 prime, 5 prime, 5 prime, 3 prime, like that. So that means from superior to inferior, inferior to superior direction. Just if you reverse this, KAM, DEKA and T. So that means this is the multi-enzyme complex which is running in both the directions to keep on adding carbon atoms for the synthesis of palmitic acid. So this is de novo synthesis of palmitic acid. So many enzymes, that those enzymes you need to write separately also, ketosyl synthase, acetyl transacylase, all these enzymes you need to list out. Okay, and just draw this cycle button. Very, very important. This is bio. Bio is nothing but de novo beta. That's what is taking place inside our cell. Okay, so de novo synthesis of fatty acid synthesis. Okay, that is. Functions and sources of vitamin C. Sources, quite easy now. What are the sources beta?
Uh,
All source foods.
citrus fruits.
Citrus fruit.
Citrus fruits. Okay. Can you tell me what are the deficiency disorders of vitamin C?
Scurvy.
Very good, scurvy. What happens in scurvy?
There is bleeding gums, and there is a I think anemia of some kind.
Anemia, because vitamin C is very important for the absorption of iron, though it is not directly involved, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the now? That means it is helping in the absorption of iron. That is one function. Can you tell some more functions? Vitamin C. You are telling bleeding gums.
Uh,
That means it is
Blood
helping in the
clotting.
formation of collagen synthesis, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, beta. See, biochemical functions. Vitamin C functions having us, so it helps in the formation of collagen. Collagen is a protein, isn't it? So that means it helps in the transcription and translation mechanism. Okay. There is a code for you to remember, but very simple, like CBIT, CBIT, and there is one more code for this also. You can just keep uh, SIP, SIP, SIP. S is used how many times? Twice. I, P is taken twice. Okay, SIP, SIP you can just remember, and FT, FT beta. Okay, so this like CBIT, SIP, FT, you can write over your page. CBIT, SIP, SIP, S taken twice, taken twice, and FT. That will help us to remember the functions very easily. If you can remember headings, you can write everything, isn't it? So it helps in formation of bone, absorption of iron. It helps in hemoglobin metabolism. It is also involved in tryptophan metabolism, tyrosine, folic acid metabolism. That means it is involved in one carbon metabolism, one carbon transfer, peptide hormone synthesis. Okay, then synthesis of corticosteroid hormones. It is protecting the other vitamins like vitamin A and E. Okay, because it has strong antioxidant nature. Then it has immunological functions also. It is promoting the phagocytosis. It prevents cataract. What is cataract? The lens, if it is becoming opaque. We have lens inside the eyeball, isn't it? Behind the cornea. So if it is becoming opaque, you call it as cataract. Vitamin C reduces the risk of cataract. And it prevents chronic diseases also. Okay. So like that. How much do we require per day? 60 to 70 milligrams. So deficiency disorders, so as Ima just told us, it leads to scurvy, that is bleeding gums, loose teeth, okay, and fragile blood vessels. So bones also may become weak, osteoporosis, okay. Clotting factors may not be formed properly because of which hemorrhage, cataract, all those things you can write. Okay, beta? So that is for vitamin C. Then hemoglobinopathies. What will you write under hemoglobinopathies? Yes, Imad?
Hemoglobinopathies.
Yeah.
Ma'am, those are abnormal forms of hemoglobin.
Yeah, very good. Sickle
Okay.
cell hemoglobin,
Methemoglobin,
methemoglobin.
sulfhemoglobin, carboxyhemoglobin.
Yeah. All those come under hemoglobinopathies. Hemoglobin, abnormal hemoglobins. See here, better. So it is the term used, you can see, look at the screen, the disorders where we have abnormal hemoglobins. Okay, so you can write about sickle cell anemia, you can write about like hemoglobin C. How is the normal hemoglobin? What is the structure? We have two alpha chains and two beta chains. No? So suppose if this structure is deranged, we have many disorders, hemoglobin C, then abnormal hemoglobins like we have thalassemia, alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia. Okay, so you can give the details of sickle cell anemia and thalassemia beta because it's a 5 marker, no? So what happens in sickle cell anemia? See, basically in the structure of
16 is sixth position in alpha chain is replaced by valine.
uh, so say,
Glutamate is replaced by valine.
glutamate is replaced by valine because of which whenever the RBC is exposed to low oxygen concentrations like in case of the veins, what happens? the shape of the RBC is distorted, it becomes sickled, and whenever it is going to small capillaries, it gets trapped over there and it is broken. Okay, it will lead to lysis. That is mechanism of sickling. Glutamate is a polar amino acid and it is replaced by non-polar valine. It's supposed to be glutamine, but valine has come. So that is leading to, this is normal adult hemoglobin, hemoglobin A. Whereas because of the replacement of this amino acid, now it is sickled hemoglobin, hemoglobin S. Okay, that is. After this, you just give this thalassemia. If you remember, we have two types of thalassemias, alpha and beta thalassemias. Basically, in case of structure of hemoglobin, we have two alpha chains, two beta chains. Alpha chains are represented by four genes. Okay, alpha 1, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 2. If all four genes are functioning normally, you call as a normal person. Suppose if one gene is missing, that is silent carrier with no symptoms. If two genes are missing, you call it as alpha thalassemia trait with minor anemia. And if three genes are missing, you call it as hemoglobin H disease, where we have mild to moderate anemia, and of course, the person can lead normal life. If four genes are missing, this is hydrops fetalis, which leads to fetal death, usually immediately after birth. Then we have one more condition, which is beta thalassemia. See, this is one normal thing where we have two normal beta chains. Okay, like this. But suppose if one beta gene is missing, you call it as beta thalassemia minor. If two are missing, then you call it as beta thalassemia major. Okay, beta? So this is the structure what we have, thalassemias. You just give the details of sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. That's enough. Okay, then what is BMR? Basal metabolic rate.
I think we have to write the it is a function of thyroid hormones.
Thyroid hormone basically regulates basal metabolic rate,
Basal metabolic
but we
rate.
have to describe also, no beta?
Okay.
Definition. I think this is given in nutrition chapter, beta BMR. Find out. Just open and keep checking. Meanwhile, I'll open the page. Ritika 502 beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Zero two. See here, beta. See, you just look at the screen. Basal metabolic rate is nothing but minimum amount of energy which is required by the body to maintain life. That means minimum, though we are sleeping, though we are at physical rest, but still our heartbeat is there, our respiratory rate is there, our muscle is in partial state of contraction. All our metabolic activities are still functioning, though we are at complete physical rest. Okay, that means what? Some amount of energy is being utilized. That minimum amount of energy which is being utilized to maintain this normal basic functions is nothing but basal metabolic rate. Okay, beta? So that is whenever we are at complete physical and mental rest. So the amount of energy which is expended is nothing but basal metabolic rate. So in order to measure this basal metabolic rate, we have certain experiments, beta. Like there is one preparation of the subject. The person should be awake completely at physical mental rest. After eating food, it's better we take post-absorptive state. Then measurement BMR is determined by using this apparatus, Benedict and Roth, okay, or Douglas Back. So here we are using volume of oxygen consumed by the subject for a period of 2 to 6 minutes under basal conditions. So how much amount of volume of oxygen is utilized is measured in liters, and we are measuring it for 6 minutes. Okay. So like heat produced in 6 minutes is calculated, heat produced in 1 hour is just converted, okay, by multiplying it with 10. So units of BMR is calories per square meter. So like that we measure, and these are the, see, A into H into W into 7. So A is surface area, H is height, and W is weight. So we have to substitute our parameters in this formula to know BMR of each person, and of course it differs from person to person. So on what factors does it depend? Suppose if surface area is big, suppose obese person, obviously BMR will be more. Okay, men marginally usually body mass is quite usually large for men when you compare with women. That's why it is little more in case of men. In infants and growing children with lean muscle mass, BMR is higher. In adults, BMR decreases at a rate of 2% per decade of life. In small children, if you remember, they have brown adipose tissue, which will be producing more and more fat, heat, no, but that's why they are more tolerant to winter seasons when you compare with adults. Physical activity. The more we do physical activity, the more is the expenditure of energy, the more is the production of heat. That's why BMR is also high. So hormones, as Imad was telling, thyroid hormones, they have stimulatory effect on BMR. Okay, that's the reason previously BMR was thought as though BMR is nothing but the functions of thyroid hormones. Okay, so initially, in fact, measurement of BMR was used to assess thyroid function. Then in cold climates, BMR is higher because heat production will be high in case of cold climates. Starvation, energy intake has an inverse, that means we are eating less, so heat production is also minimized. Fever, BMR is high. Disease states, usually it will be high only in many diseases wherever heat production is more. Then, whereas in Addison's disease, you will see it is marginally lower. Racial variations, Eskimos. Eskimos are people who live in cold countries, Antarctica and all. No, so there you will see it will be much higher because they will be producing more heat to regulate body temperature. Okay, so that is overall nothing but the basal energy production in order to maintain our metabolic activities is nothing but BMR. Okay, just read once better, it's very important. BMR. Then electron transport chain. I think I need to resend the link, Vita. Do you remember what is electron transport chain?
Transfer electrons that happens in the mitochondrial matrix,
Very good.
and then you have the whole system of cytochromes and
Excellent. Yeah.
involved in electron transport.
You have to learn that. Can you tell me the inhibitors?
Inhibitors.
What is that?